the Eagles were really kind of beating the crap out of the Chiefs in the first half. Like, that fumble was huge in that first half because their defense was doing a really good job bottling up Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. If they had scored in that drive instead of the Chiefs ending up getting a scoop and score touchdown, like, this could have been really ugly by the end of the first half. As it was a 10-point deficit and felt like the Chiefs were clinging on, late in that game. They got the ball with 2 minutes or so to try and get their double dip drive. The whole point of the deferring is if you get the ball at the end of the first half and you're going to get it at the start of the second half, you can quickly hammer in 2 scores, flip the entire script by 14 points, and all of a sudden you're laughing. So the Chiefs get the ball with a couple minutes left, down 7 points, and it's like, all right, we can get back and we can score again. We can take the lead. They didn't get anything going. They had to punt it away. And
Chiefs, right? They usually it's like scary. Oh no,
right.
Mahomes is going to get the ball.
Couple minutes left, nothing. Yep. So they ended up having to punt the ball away. Philadelphia ends up getting another score on the board, puts it at the half at 10, and all of a sudden you're like, the Chiefs are kind of clinging on to this game. Now, it's Mahomes. He's down 10 points. We know that means nothing now.
Oh, no, I did my hedge tweet. I was like, look, it's 10 points. It feels good for the Eagles right now. And I know Mahomes is hurt, but, watch out. 10 points.
I mean, you and I were watching old Super Bowls over the last couple of days.
Yeah, we did that.
On YouTube. And you don't have to go back that far before it's like, oh, this is a 10-point game. That's all she wrote. Nobody comes back from a 10-point deficit in the Super Bowl. It's crazy. Like, it had happened 3 times or something before, including that one where Denver were 10 up and then conceded 42 straight points and lost hard. But 10 points is nothing to Mahomes. It's meaningless. Trey Wingo had a tweet that Patrick Mahomes is now 14-10 when his team falls behind by 10 or more points. No other quarterback has a winning percentage more than 37% since 1950. Like, that's madness. It's absurd.
Yeah, it's crazy.
10 points to him is literally irrelevant. It doesn't matter. And yet, so you're like, okay, this looks bad. The Chiefs are getting almost nothing done on offense. Philadelphia is winning. They're having their way on offense as well. They're 10 down, and Mahomes got tackled by his bad ankle and looks very hurt.
I didn't think he looked that hurt, to be honest.
Oh, he looked acutely hurt when it happened.
I thought he looked way more hurt in the Jags game. I didn't think he was nearly as hurt.
When this happened,
he limps after
bad
almost every time he gets tackled.
No, this was significant.
He was definitely more hurt than most tackled, but this wasn't the Jags. Like, the Jags one, I thought it was 50-50 whether or not he was coming back in the game. There was zero doubt he was coming back in this one, the way he ran.
When this happened, it was the first few hobbles where he's, first of all, face first into the turf in agony, gets up, can't put weight on the leg, then eventually sort of gets his foot under him. But even when he got to the sideline, he put like his head on his athletic trainer's shoulder. It did not look good. Now, again, I didn't have any doubt that he was coming back, but clearly that was a problem. And when you add that to being 10 points down and, generally not looking good, like, it didn't look great, but Mahomes has made too many miracles happen for you to say, well, that's it, it's gone. Or at least most people. I noticed when I tweeted it, there were many Twitter people saying, no, not this time, it's over.
Not this time.
Yeah.
You never say that. There was another moment. So on the way to the Eagles get up 21-14, and then you mentioned they stop the Chiefs when the Chiefs are going for their end of the half drive. Eagles come back, they kick a field goal. Before even that, I think it was the drive where they got up 21-14. The Eagles playing the game with legit 4-down territory, right? Like, at midfield, they're like legit 4-down territory. And again, I want to give a ton of credit to Greg Olsen on the call. You didn't get to hear Olsen, but
can't give him any credit.
He's laying all of this stuff out. And when Pacheco, at the end of the game, broke free and the Eagles were trying to let him score, Olsen's yelling, get down, get down, get down. I mean, he's...
McKinnon, wasn't it?
Was it McKinnon? Yeah, McKinnon, sorry. McKinnon breaks free, and Olsen's yelling, get down, get down, get down. He did a great job of laying out scenarios and all that stuff. He pointed out, when you see the run on 3rd and 7, Eagles get 2 yards, now it's 4th and 5, they know they're going for it on 4th down. It's not just, hey, we failed on 3rd down, it's 4th and 3, let's go for it. Like, they know. They're making calls to go for it and just use up all 4 downs. And they go for it on 4th and 5, at midfield, and Jalen Hurts, they just run a QB draw, which again that's not a common call,
Man.
but it shows like the ability when you have a rushing quarterback. Other stuff doesn't have to be perfect, right? Like to run a good QB draw, like you need like 1 or 2 blocks in a mobile quarterback, and you'll get it. And they do that on 4th and 5. So the Eagles do this great job of all these edges, playing aggressive. That led to a touchdown. I mean, those are the types of things the talking heads on the big channels are like, oh, fireable offense, you went for it at midfield. Those are literally the reasons why the Eagles had a chance to win this. So as much as it felt like maybe the Eagles blew it, they needed all of these things to go right? The double coverage throws to A.J. Brown, the 4th down decisions, all of that stuff to go right. Yeah, they handed the Chiefs 7 points, but the aggressiveness was important for them.
Yeah, I mean, both of these head coaches, I think, have been amongst the best in the NFL this season at adding to their team's chances of winning, whether it's the pregame kind of work with the initial 15-play script or play calls, 4th down decisions, all this kind of stuff within games. They are both doing an incredible job, and I think both had pretty good games in this. But the game completely started to flip on its head in the second half when the Chiefs were able to go down with that first drive after halftime, look like a different offense. Like that functioned. It was able to work. They started causing the Eagles defense all kinds of issues with misdirection. It looked like the first drive, right? The first drive of the first half where everything looked good for both sides. The Chiefs go down, score, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, this 10-point deficit that looked like it was about to be a problem for Kansas City. Now we're talking about a 3-point game, and the Chiefs' offense is back in business. And then the other thing that really swung the game was Kadarius Toney's punt return.
The punt return, yeah. So it was 24-14 at the half. You mentioned the Chiefs, their first drive, they go down and score. So 24-21 Eagles. The next scoring was the Eagles kicking the field goal. That was after all of the saving of timeout for the delay of game and the challenge by Andy Reid and all that stuff. So it's 27-21 Eagles. And the Chiefs drive down once again. And, they did a really good job. Like, there was a point in this game where the Eagles were something like 9 for 14 on 3rd down, 2 for 2 on 4th down, right? So they're getting all of these conversion downs. And the Chiefs hadn't even converted a 3rd down, which is usually their thing, right? They'll just kind of like, whatever, sleepwalk through 1st and 2nd down sometimes, and it's like 3rd and 14, Mahomes and Kelsey bail us out. It was different in this game. They were on schedule, the Chiefs. So there was a point in this game where they were in it and hadn't even converted a 3rd down, the Chiefs. Like they ran the ball well when they wanted to. The short passing game against the Eagles soft coverage. We haven't mentioned like the overall theme of the Eagles pass rush, right? Of just not really, when they did create pressure, Mahomes did some of his Houdini acts, and then other times they just were unable to get pressure. So the Chiefs' short passing offense in this one, very efficient combined with that running game. That's how they were moving the ball.